It's Animu time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the figma number 585. It's Kurumi Tokisaki from Datealive, which I have not seen. I don't watch the show, but to my excuse, I'm a man of culture, so when I see a cute gothic lolita, I buy the figure. Thank you very much. But no, seriously, I love the design. I've seen many clips and shorts and whatnot of this show and of this character in particular, and yeah, I think the design is great. Have the scarlet red in the gothic lolita outfit, and he also comes with a bunch of cool accessories. As you can tell, there's some giant things in this box, and I'm not talking about the boba, although those look pretty nice as well. Let's have a look at the figure. So even though I don't watch the show, I did do a little bit of homework, and I think it's funny that you have like this cute anime girl, and I'll talk about that, but then she's actually like a demon, actually not demon, but like an angel spirit who's killed thousands of people to prolong her own life. That's so anime. But anyway, size of the angel of death character. 15 centimeters, I'm so far away because of the dress, but yeah, 15, almost 15 and a half to the top of the head, which means we would go up to, yeah, almost 6 inches tall. Size comparisons.
Here's Jolter, the SH Figure Arts Son Goku, Naka Michelangelo, this other Figma Gothic Lolita, which I don't even remember the name of. Please remind me in the comments. And Darkseid.
Overall, look in detail, I don't care if she's evil, she's absolutely beautiful, and the dress, while it doesn't have any articulation, but they kind of worked around it, might make it some super wide. Will take up some space, but as such you will still have at least some articulation. But let's have a look at the beautiful face sculpt. Have the clock in one eye, and I already like a little bit of a smug face on it. Then we have the reds and the black on the top, the X's on top, very nicely painted. Don't see any bleeding, don't have any big issues. Also, this is molded on, not just painted but also molded. And for the brighter parts, you always have some sparkling in there. I don't know if you can see that. So there is some metallic, or like I think it's more pearlescent than metallic, but yeah. There's some of it in there, and then we have the hair. One is long and one is short to kind of give the vibe of the long and the short arm of a clock. And then we have the collar with some metallic in there, and the big bobas kind of falling out of her dress, but I'm not complaining. We do have a little bit of a paint mishap on this side. Let's have a look at the back as well. There we have some more line work, which is mostly clean, a little bit thicker on some sides, but not too much to complain about. And some nice chains on the side. I also love this detail. It really takes you back. It takes you away from like, yeah, this is like dominated by the scarlet red and the black, and then you have some metal on the side. Also have her forearm kind of like gloves, not really gloves because it's just covering the forearm. I love also how they molded the ribbons on there. Speaking of which, you have a giant ribbon in the front, which is somewhat loose, but I don't think it's really supposed to move around, so be careful with that. And a beautiful corset in the front part, and as you can tell, it just gives a big shine off it. Now I like that. Usually I'm talking about, well, clothing shouldn't be shiny, but we're talking about an angel spirit in an anime, so who cares? And the better it looks, the more it, you know, the more nice it will look on your shelf. Now also, this is, although on the one hand I like it, but on the other hand it's kind of like a lazy workaround, because I looked at some artwork of the character and there would be tons of shading in the dress, and I guess Figma was like, no, we're not doing that, we're just shining it up, bro. So, you know, I'm not mad about it, but also I kind of just wonder how it would have looked with like all this bunch of shading on there. Still, going back to all the detail, all the zigzag going on and down to the dress. Let's see. Now we have some issues with the paint. It seems like it's not fully lined up there, but I think is the lower half, I think it's like a single piece that they kind of added to the rest of the dress. But I'm not sure about that, but what I'm sure about it, it's tons of time. I said it's twice because my brain kind of had an aneurysm there. Yeah, we have some black pantsu, but more importantly, we have stockings, which I'm a big fan of. So very simple, but down to the boots, which also have a beautiful color. I like this is this like a dark blue? It's kind of blackish, but a really nice tone of it. And we have some more ribbons and the big boots with the soles on there. But overall, beautiful looking piece. For articulation, I'm starting off with the hair because you have ball packs in there, like a ball joint and a small, very small pack on there. So you can rotate that around pretty freely, bring it up and down, goes on both sides. Also, the head isn't really blocked, so that moves back and forth without any trouble. Doesn't really go side to side. Maybe I haven't lined it up correctly. What was that noise? Don't break. This is all like kind of hard plastic, so I would be very careful with the ribbons. Don't know why I can't really move it side to side, but does swivel all the way around without any trouble. Then we have the shoulder joint, classic stuff. Have the ball hinge, can move it up and down, and then you have a ball inside of it, so you can move it back and forth. The ball hinge in the elbow also is like the most standard of standard Figmas. You can not really rotate this. I guess you have a little bit of wriggle motion, and you have the ball joint on, well, ball hinge on this entire front piece. I like that this is connected and it doesn't get into the way of your articulation. But yeah, bring that up and down, and also swiveling. Then the chest area goes a little bit of back and forth. Side to side works, but again, be very careful with the small ribbon, and it just kind of runs into the big ribbon, so it's a bit of a nuisance in there. Now for the lower half, yeah, as we talked about, don't really get much because of the dress. But then again, if you cut up the dress, I feel like all the pictures I look, it's like super duper flowy, and if you cut this up, it would look like absolute ass. So I'm sacrificing articulation with this clean of a look. I'm okay with it. Some people won't be, but I'm not too mad about it. But yeah, obviously the rest of the leg articulation, it's on ball joint, so you can swivel it around. I really would have liked that they would have had this Y joint, which you couldn't pull down, to add at least some of it, but they didn't do that, so missed opportunity. You have a ball hinge in the knee, which would go up all the way, but obviously it gets blocked by the big shiny dress. And then the foot is on another big ball hinge over here. Also can bring this side to side and can swivel it around, so got some stability for her. Baba booey. Let's have a look at the accessories. First and foremost, the faces. You have like the smiling face, and I think they call this the awakened face. Or is this supposed to be the smug face? I don't even know. Like, is this the smug face? Or is this like one of the faces is supposed to be smug and one's supposed to be smiling? I don't know. She kind of looks, well, this is kind of more smug, so yeah, okay. Got you there. Then for the hands, we have two holding hands, two fist hands, and one pointy finger. This connection is really weird, but I guess you just kind of slide it into the front part of her dress. And you also have two bang bang hands, well, trigger fingers. If my camera would focus, yeah, just trigger fingers. And then we have Zafkiel's musket. This is actually musket, I think, right? I had this video of the Persona Violet where I called it a musket, and somebody told me that, oh, it's not a musket. And that's fine. Hey, if I'm incorrect, you can correct me, as long as you're not a dick about it, right? Just be like, hey, it's actually not a musket, instead of like, actually, how did you know this is not a musket? Are you stupid? Those people will get banned. Anyway, we have Zafkiel's pistol. I love the detail also on there. You have like shiny brown, and then some a lot more matte gray, and then the gold really sticking out in a nice way. And you also have a firing effect. She has like a weird color. I haven't seen like reddish well, not really purplish, but light red firing. But still, we have it, but we only have one. Boo! Can't even fire out of both guns. Then you have the Figma base, which is always included with every Figma, and you also have the Figma bag, and you also have like these little pieces which I always keep in the bag, but you have one replacement for the wrist. And then you also have this piece, which you can put on the base, but you don't have to. And finally, you have this giant effect piece, which you just slide into this plastic clamp. It looks super duper beautiful, and it's actually also, there's some height to it. Like the way they printed it on there looks so nice, but it's also probably a little bit scratchy, so be careful with it. Also, this has like a tight fit. If you can connect it to anything else, I would recommend you do that, because I think I'm really fearing that this crumples up over time. Still, beautiful looking piece. Final thoughts! How does Evil look this cute? God damn it. No, seriously, this figure looks amazing. And I don't have any real complaints to it. I guess the only things that will ruffle some feathers is the lack of dress articulation. And as I mentioned beforehand, if there was shading in the dress, it would look different. But I do appreciate the pearlescent, the sparklies in the dress, so it looks super duper nice. The accessories really went above and beyond. I love this huge hunk of plastic, this Dafkiel, what was it again? The big clock sheet you got in there. And yeah, overall, the rest of it, it's super duper nicely done, don't have any quality control issues, and has a bunch of cool accessories, like some old school guns, a pistol, a musket, and some cool faces. I do recommend this one, even if you're not a fan of the show, even if you've never watched the show like me. Doesn't matter, figure looks great, and I have no huge complaints about it. So, definitely recommend it. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Kurumi Tokisaki wants.